I am resident of Collinwood for YouTube. Jules Sades, that is my buddy Gordon Dymowski, that is my buddy Patrick McCray, that is my buddy Alvin Gallant. We are here to review Ernest, Scared, Stupid. Uh,
And other things.
this movie, this movie came out October 11th. Plenty of time for Halloween, 1991.
Left over from the 80s, like a good piece of old meatloaf.
Screenplay was Charlie Gale. Cook Sam's story was by John Cherry and Coke Sam's. Sorry. Produced by Stacey Williams, starring Jim Varney, of course. So budget was 9.6 million. It made 14.1 million back. Production company was Touchstone Pictures. Distributed by Bon
Jovi.
Buena Vista.
Yeah. There you go.
Disney, basically.
Yeah. Oh my God. So guys, what was your first Ernest movie you ever saw?
Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam, in terms of movies, and that was around 1985 or 86.
Mhm.
It was made right around the time that those ads out of Nashville were at their apex. And he actually came, I think John Cherry came to RiverCon or Deep South Con, one or the other. It was in Louisville. And they were advertising. And I was in heaven because I had been a big fan of the surreal Jim Varney from his... the ads in Louisville were done as convenient food mart ads. And but it was the standard, Ernest model where, he would say the name of the individual institution at the end. It was clearly something that was cut in. And it was, now, is that convenient or is that convenient? And I, this was sort of in the era of Pee Wee Herman. And so he had that, it was kind of a Southern Pee Wee Herman, just this kind of weird man-child sort of figure. Yeah, and terrifying. Because of his nose. The weird thing about Jim Varney is he'd already had a nose job to reduce the size of his nose, but he still left it, fairly awkward.
Fairly large. Yeah, he was also rubber-faced anyway, so he was distorting his face with all of this stuff.
Yeah, because he could drop the accent. Mm-hmm. Talk about someone who can play the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
With that, prominent proboscis.
Yes.
But just seriously, and he had the gravitas when he wanted to. There's a good clip of him, a couple of clips of him online. Doing Tutu Solid Flesh from Hamlet.
Yes.
And it's very good.
Yes, it is very good.
Yeah. He's a very, very, very good actor who just I won't say he got pigeonholed, but he made money. Yeah. He fed himself.
He made a huge amount of money just off of doing those plug-in commercials. I mean, up in the northern New England, it was for Oakhurst Dairy Milk, for God's sakes. He was doing it, you know what I mean, burn and all that stuff. And he was still doing the same sort of Mid-South,
from
guy.
I mean, it was very commedia dell'arte.
Yeah.
In this figure that he was playing, and they would shoot like 10 a day. I suspect some of them totally improvised.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that Jim Varney had, ironically, he died young, but he had a boundless energy for that kind of stylized sort of thing, which is why he was really good at it and why he became famous for it. He was a regional theater actor. I mean,
yes, he was.
That's what he was.
I had kind of hoped that Beverly Hillbillies would do better.
Yeah, because he was pretty good. He was actually pretty good. I
mean, you're going to choose somebody to play Jed Clampett in the modern age. Yeah. Jim Varney was it. And he made money doing voices for Disney. I think he even did a voice for Atlantis.
He had an incredible voice anyway. I mean, he had a really good ear for imitation as well as having a great varied voice. He was a skilled craftsman as an actor. He knew what he was doing. But a lot of people didn't know that because he was doing this character, and then he got into the films, and it was for kids. Essentially, these movies were definitely aimed at kids, family films, if you would, with a few sly off-color things thrown in for,
Well, except for Ernest and the Band Plays On. the first adaptation of the Randy Schultz book, which confused a lot of people, including me. Yeah.
Gordon, what was your first Ernest movie you saw?
Well, I remember the commercials. I know one where he was in a kitchen, and I think it was for like a local dairy. Because he's like, "Hey Vern, how'd you like some nice fresh chocolate milk?"
Yeah.
I know he did a one for Music Craft, which is kind of a local stereo store. And a one, I think the one where he was on the ladder and ends up falling was on. I think it was for like a local roofer or something like that. Because as Patrick and Alan pointed out, they did like 10 of these. They just kept churning them out
Cranking them out. Unbelievable amount of.
Yeah, and then I actually saw the experimental art film that nobody knows about. It's called Ernest Does a Porno, and and the Ernest movies I think are just kind of dumb, goofy fun. I mean, I'm not old enough to have been in the right age range. But like if I were a kid who were like a 9-10-year-old, hopped up on pixie sticks, mom and dad are either fighting or they're out. I'm gonna stick this in because I can't find the R-rated films and watch it. It's just, it's just kind of it's wall to wall insanity.
Yes, absolutely. It's it's like you say, it's like vaudeville on pixie sticks. It's just one thing right after another, and high energy. And the smart thing about these films is they never slow down, so the audience never gets ahead. They just see this wild spectacle in front of them, which works. I mean, I'd go to a drive-in movie theater and watch something this insane. It kind of fits.
What was the first Ernest movie you saw, Alan?
It may have been this one. I had seen the commercials for years because like they had a couple of local businesses. Oakhurst Dairy is the one I remember the most, which was a Maine dairy. But they did a couple other ones too that were regional businesses in New England because he did so much stuff. He must have been coast to coast by the time he was done cranking out those commercials. But I remember those vividly. But I did not actually see anything of his other than that until like Scared Stupid showed up on television.
Man. Ernest was everywhere. I mean, as a kid watching the Ernest movies, I watched the first one I saw was Ernest Goes to Camp. Just crazy.
Ernest is everywhere. Should have been Mojo Nixon's sequel to Elvis is Everywhere.
Yeah.
Shut up, phone. And they had Ernest Goes to the NBA, Ernest Goes to Jail.
Which is the weirdest
jail with Pee Wee Herman.
It's the weirdest remake of Midnight Express I've ever seen.
God, I mean, and yeah, Jim Varney, you're right, playing Jed Clampett, right up his alley, and should have that. I watched that movie. I went to go see the movie, and it was entertaining as hell.
Ernest on the Planet of the Apes, of course.
Can you imagine Jim Varney in Planet of the Apes? Oh my
God. So this movie here is the first horror installment of the Ernest movies, I believe, which has a troll for a villain, and if the troll gets so many kids, it becomes almost indestructible, except for one flaw. If you have to heart a child and love it give it mother's love, and the only person fitting that bill is Ernest P. Worrell. Now, I do like how they did the backstory of how Ernest, basically, the Worrells, the troll puts a curse on the Worrells. Each one of his ancestors will get stupid or dumber. Basically,
dumber and dumber, basically.
Yeah,
with each generation. That was the curse, the family curse.
Because I was not expecting that at all in this movie. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, it's a good way to explain it for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
It's also a good way to kind of like, you know, 'cause it's also a good way to shut the parents up, because the parents going to be, I know there's going to be some parent who's like, well, what does that? Oh, okay. You know, how did that reverend get a goofy grandson? Oh, okay. The curses, they get dumber. Okay, fine. You know, and plus this really isn't a movie that most parents would watch. It's like, okay, I'm going to stick the kid in front of the set, you know, make them some Totino's pizza rolls, stick the tape in, then I'm going to go have some Chardonnay.
There were shades of Trask.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, there really were. There were
And his
shades of Trask.
ancestral portrayal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
And Jim Varney, you know, note to the Ghost of Dan Curtis in a Time Machine.
Yes.
Jim
Yeah.
Varney would have made a fine Reverend Trask.
He would have made one of many Reverend Trasks, or he might have been a better Ghost of Damian Edwards. Who knows? You know,
That pantsuit would have been amazing.
That's right.
A hand
well, not
puppet would be a
Photoshop
better
right now.
Ghost of Damian Edwards.
Oh.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! But
God, I feel like Julie right now.
Oh
Hearing
my god!
these sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, Damien Edwards was not a good guest. No, bright clothes, but not a great guest.
Yeah.
So Ernest, Scared, Stupid. You also had the two salesmen in here. They were, I think they were in other Ernest movies. Correct?
They were. Yeah, he had a repertoire by that point.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the part I forgot, because when I rewatched this today, I'm thinking, man, I remember these guys, but they were in the other movies, right? I kept trying to remember, and I could not. But they were funny in here too. They're selling him all this shit.
Yeah. Where did he get the money? Who cares? Keep moving.
Yeah, who cares?
Don't stop. Keep going.
That man gets paid by the city. Okay, he takes out the trash, and he does a damn fine job.
Millionaire, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The movie starts because the mayor complains that he didn't clean up the trash at the you know, Eartha Kitt's house, for lack of a better term. Okay. First, he should have known she was living there. Secondly, you do, you know, if you're a mayor, you do all the proper paperwork. So, you know, the whole troll thing, it's his fault. Had he done his frickin' job,
really,
we wouldn't have a movie.
Right.
But no. Not complaining though, because we did get a movie. But no, that guy, and plus his kids. You know how we're in the treehouse and they're shooting like the cans of tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how delicately I could put this. I could say there was an alternative form of projectile they could use.
Oh, absolutely.
And they actually had a source for it in the dog, and I'll just leave that there.
That's right. That's right.
Hair.
If I wasn't thinking of that, Patrick, but if that's what you want to believe, that's fine.
Yeah, those two brat kids deserved
yes,
worse than tomatoes, no doubt about it. They did their roles well. But these were stock characters. I mean, a lot of kids were playing stock characters, and so it was like, yeah, go for it. And I mean, the film is, I think it's highly entertaining if you're in a certain mindset, and whether that's the mindset of a child or whether you just happen to be feeling silly and goofy that day, you know.
How does it come? Because the only other Ernest movie I saw, and I'll, you know, I mean, I saw Dr. Otto, but I think Ernest appears in that actually. But and it's a cool movie because Varney plays a lot of parts in it.
Yes.
But was the first one, Ernest Goes to Camp, or Else Sprague Goes to Camp, one or the other. And I obviously disappointed he wasn't in drag because I misread the title. But he can you imagine?
Ernest Goes to Camp. Yes.
But it did have some. It had a good number by the Turtles in it. And that was a fairly balanced movie because they were still kind of figuring out what they were going to do, and so it took place much more in reality.
You're right.
I think than this does. So,
Yes.
in terms of the later Ernest movies, how does this compare? Like Ernest Goes to Jail, or Ernest in the Scopes Trial, and whatever came up.
Yeah, Ernest Goes to Collinwood.
Ernest Goes to Gallant was just fantastic.
Yes.
His cousin Willie.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, because the first movie I saw was Ernest Goes to Camp, I agree with you. They were sort of trying to figure out what they were going to do with Jim Varney's character. Not necessarily in that frame of that movie, but they were trying to, okay, we know Jim can be funny. We know he can act. How do we combine the two and make it look good? Ernest Goes to Camp is not just okay, yeah, they're figuring it out. They're sort of getting the right beats to Ernest within the frame of the movie too. Okay, Ernest does something only Ernest would do, which is he knows how to speak Native American, and he talks the chief into selling the land accidentally to the construction company. And Ernest gets mad that they used him to do this, and he tries to fight the big guy, and he gets beat up. But then he comes back and gets his revenge. It works it works if you're a kid, because it's like, okay, you appreciate that the guy redeemed himself. Well, then they take Ernest in these sequels and they just have him get goofier and goofier, and it works because Jim Varney's selling his ass off.
Well, yeah. The thing is, by the time they do this one, Scared Stupid, they're using all of those characters that he's developed and played. And some of them he's played in the other movies, but he developed a lot of them when he was doing commercials too. The female characters, the one that chain smoking, blah, blah, and all of that sort of thing, is actually a version of himself. He was a chain smoking guy, but it's a drag version of himself. But these characters are all, and again, getting back to commedia, as you mentioned before, these are stock, kind of bizarro stock characters. So they just and so we're going to make Ernest in this movie. We're going to make him, he has multiple personality disorder. So every once in a while, poof, all these other characters come out. And
that's a good conceit.
Yeah, it is a conceit. It doesn't make a lot of sense because it's going 100 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, bang, there it is. And the kids comment on it. Oh my God, I'm dealing with this. But it's by this time, the audience knows about these other characters because they have seen them pop up, time and again. But it's really it's 100-mile-an-hour stuff.
He's the white Tyler Perry.
Yeah, it just don't give them time to think. Just do it and let them laugh, and it works. Those characters are just totally bizarro, and they work because he's developed.
Yeah, there is sort of a comic momentum of, I'm just going to keep running fast enough that even though like in Wile E. Coyote, the cliff has stopped, I'm going to keep going for as far as I can, and hopefully the credits will run before gravity picks up with me.
Right. It's
also, I think for the most part that works. Yeah,
it's also the philosophy behind farce. Don't let the audience. I mean, a farce is a little bit more sophisticated story-wise a lot of times, and you have the mistaken identities and the slamming doors and all of the sort of standard stuff that goes on in farce. But it's like that. Keep going. Do not let the audience catch up to you, and they'll love you for it. This movie is definitely that. I keep going back to that because it's true. It's very true. It's like every corner you turn around, something new explodes in your face. So.
And by this time too, you had characters on TV that were just hilariously funny too. I mean, Urkel had been around for a while, I think, by this point in time.
And these are shows that kids loved as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you also had Animaniacs, which would come around in a year or so. Beakman's World, so that kind of crazy madcap energy was kind of in the air.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin on Chicago Hope.
Yeah,
in those first seasons.
Wasn't the show called Chicago Coke at that time? I don't know.
Mandy.
But it's true. There were those sort of live action frenetic kids shows on at that time. It wasn't just this.
I think there was an Emo Phillips one.
I don't remember.
I think Emo Phillips. So I think he might have had one. I really do.
Yeah, I think it might have been one of those like canceled after like 4 or 5 episodes, but
his wife is stunning. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say it. Have you ever seen it? Wow.
Yeah, really?
Oh yeah, she's on Star Trek. Star Trek Continues.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's wonderful. She even writes an episode, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You had Sauce Mitchell's Cody Lambert on Step by Step. Starting his van up with basically a kite, a key, and electricity. My God. But yeah. So you had sort of goofy characters on TV and in television, like an Ernest P. Worrell, like a the other guy that came on in the morning, Pee Wee. Pee Wee Herman. And Pee Wee's Big Adventure was, for kids, a huge deal.
Oh, it was cooking by this time.
Okay, that's something I wanted to talk about. One of the issues I had with this movie is that there was so much outrageousness in it that my philosophy generally is that the more outlandish the main character in a comedy, the straighter the rest of it generally needs to be,
right?
Because that gives them something to bounce off of. The only exception I can think of, and it's just a slight suggestion, and it just is a tribute to the good taste of the movie. I mean that, is Pee Wee's Big Adventure, where the characters are a little off kilter, but just a little, and nowhere near as off kilter as Pee Wee.
They
each have one thing. That's a little, one big thing. What about your big thing, Pee Wee? Your big butt. But yeah, they just have that one little bit of shtick, and that's what made it work. I think characters either need to be completely straight, or just have one little thing that's off center. If you have a majorly wild character, that's how the Marx Brothers worked.
Yes,
is that Margaret Dumont, although she was a parody, was an incredibly straight parody.
Yes, she was grounded in reality, and the rest.
It didn't hurt that Maggie Bond was basically playing herself.
Yeah. Whether or not it was true or a PR stunt, according to legend, anyway, she never got the jokes. I'm not sure.
I don't think she did. I'd like to believe she didn't.
It may have been true, but all she had to do is follow the script and say her lines anyway, and respond to the craziness that was going on around her. That's all she had to do. She didn't have to get the jokes. Yeah. But there are a lot of people in those movies that are depicted as not getting the jokes. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of straight-laced stuff going on around them, and they're creating the mayhem, and other people have to deal with the wreckage kind of thing. And it's funny.
Strangely enough, you mentioned that. Have you ever seen a movie called Brain Donors with John Turturro?
Oh, my God.
I really recommend it. For one reason, it is a modern day Marx Brothers movie.
Okay.
Down to with Turturro as the Groucho character. And he's there with a Harbo character and a Chico character, and it's if you're a Marx Brothers fan, it's really worth looking at. It's a strange relic of the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might have been made by the Zucker brothers. I could be wrong.
I don't know if it was them. It might have been like Pat Proft.
Okay, you're right.
And
Pat
Neil
Proft.
Israel, those people who worked with them.
Yeah, you're right. It was them. Because I've seen it, and it's got some nice grown-up versions of I remember at the end, at one point, the Turturro character is with two women, and he's like a man and a woman, and he's with a woman. Guy comes in and he says, "I got to leave. Two's company, three's an adult movie."
Yeah, and even as a character, I forget what the character's name is, but it's something like Reginald Q. Penis Feathers. So it's a Marx Brothers like character name. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Nice. Hold on, I'm looking something up.
What's Joel doing?
I'm looking something up. Give me a minute.
I don't see your hands.
Well. There you go. Sorry, I was looking something up for a minute. But yeah, out of all the Ernest movies, where does this one rank to you? Was this?
Yeah. Give me the fact. Give me the fact I've seen two of them. Probably at number 2.
Yeah, I've only seen 2, and the other one I've seen is not an Ernest movie. It's Beverly Hillbillies. I would rank that one and this one too.
Mm-hmm.
Penelope Spheris, good director.
Go.
I thought it was a good movie. Like I've only, I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch the Beverly Hillbillies movie because I don't know if it registered the first time I saw it. I think it was just like background noise. But I'd say I like this, and I like Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah. I would put Jim Varney. It's sort of unfair because he was so talented and so funny for kids. Like he was somebody who just made you laugh. To me, I would put this right at number 2. My number 1 is Ernest Goes to Jail. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I wanted to see it.
Ernest Goes to Camp is number 3 because I would say out of all the ones that have a more serious tone, I would say Ernest Goes to Camp has the most serious tone of it all. Even more serious than this, because again, with horror and comedy, you gotta combine it right. It's all about timing, and they time things well. But the rest of the town, it's like the kids are taking it seriously because they're getting taken care of by the troll. The parents are like, "Where's our kids? Where's our kids?"
The pattern is these movies we get more and more outrageous until he's in space on a space station, and then the next one they bring it down to Earth, and it starts out where he's at the grave of Teresa, his wife, and the helicopter comes to pick him up, and it's a more serious movie.
The thing of it is, though, I mean, considering where horror's gonna go here in not too terribly long, that would fit because Jason X is Jason in space.
That's a good documentary.
For fuck's sake. There's me and Butch have talked about. I don't think we specifically. I think we've talked about Jason X. Me and Butch have, but shout out to Butch Rosenbaum.
SpaceX, Jason X.
Jason X there is no plot to that movie at all.
Just the sharpening of knives, right?
There's just no plot. It's hilarious. It's fun to watch. It's a good watch. It's entertaining as hell, but there's no plot. There's no plot. Oh my god!
You take Jason X. I'll take Malcolm X.
I saw that in theaters. By the way, I saw Jason X in theaters. I paid to watch it.
I'll take Mucinex.
And I was entertained as hell.
Alan will take Triple X, and we'll see you later.
Did you guys ever see Jason X? No. Yes.
I did not.
Jason Triple X, as directed by
that's the movie.
Yeah, Jason Triple X. Yeah, that was a good movie.
That's good. The daisy chain at the end was amazing. It was just
oh my god! What are you
guys?
Like
Jason the Human Centipede. Only the front part had the mask.
The rest didn't need it. Human Centipede. I just rewatched the Human Centipede recently.
It's a funny movie. I still like the second one best.
Oh my god!
That's good for the holidays. It has a lovely diarrhea scene where it's the only color in the movie. Kind of like Schindler's List.
Yep, and the 3 of you should receive the chocolate Twinkies I ordered for all of you.
That was a shtick I used to pull when I would show Sallow. I would time it.
Yeah, and I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it for this movie.
It's a great gag. Take it with my compliments. Yeah, I would. Right when they got to that scene, people would be in the middle of eating it. I did great. It was so good. Oh,
say what I'm gonna. You guys could just DM me your addresses, and one day I'll just send you all a copy of Jason X. It'll be from Jewel with love.
I'm sure it will.
Okay, that's what that'll be.
Jewel, there are tools where you could, if you say had it on DVD, you could send us the file and not have to worry about shipping us any tapes or anything. I'm just suggesting. I would never advocate privacy. At least not on this show. Ooh, I must have offended Patrick.
I think so.
I don't think so. No. Oh my god. Is there anything you guys want to add about this movie?
No, it's standard fisheye lens fare. Absolutely. And a fun romp.
Is there anything you guys want to do tomorrow? Movie suggestion? Anything?
I'd love to do The Imposters, but I can't find it for free anywhere. It's a Stanley Tucci, Tony Shalhoub, some other people. It's sort of a Laurel and Hardy spoof. And these two guys get into big trouble. And it's set in the 1930s. And it's a lot of fun. But it's just, unfortunately, it costs money. So,
wait, did it come out in 2023?
No, it came out in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did find brain donors on the Internet Archive.
Oh no.
You want to do another comedy or?
Yeah, it's okay by me.
Yeah, it's okay by me. Brain donors, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll message everyone on Facebook.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, tomorrow night we'll review brain donors. But there's Patrick.
And
Here he comes.
Where's Patrick?
Fuck.
He had the thing of it. He had his glasses in his mouth like this, Joel. Keep your mind out of the gutter. Seriously. Ever since we discussed Dark Shadows episode 107 or 106, the one we did, Joel, your mind is just going places.
My mind is listen. My mind has always went places. That's nothing new.
Yeah,
it's nothing new, man. Patrick, can you hear me?
Did you just send Barnabas again? He did.
They haven't seen it yet.
No.
Patrick, I found brain donors on the Internet Archive, so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night.
Oh, I think it's great. Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow night, brain donors. These fine gentlemen here, you can get Gordon on Facebook. You can get Alan on Facebook. You can link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound is going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Collins.
You'll stick around after this.
It's going to be in the description box. I will. Link to Gordon Dymowski's Amazon page and website's going to be in the description box. You guys have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. So now Joel, go to the chat.